Welcome back to Cosmetics Anonymous. I am your favorite new mama bougie vintage, and today's video is a Botox. Hopefully we don't end up in freaking tears today. I have a lot of new emails and I have old emails, and girl, we're just gonna pick and choose and see where we end up. Hi Bo, 2 years ago I was by my boyfriend at the time. We broke up shortly after, but there were many red flags that I ignored since I was naive. I was 16 at the time, him being 18, and now I'm 18. For a while, I didn't grasp the fact that I had been but I knew it was wrong. It broke me completely, and I even had a purity ring that he was fully aware of. I've been in therapy, and I've been thinking about telling him and taking him to court. Only issue is that he has a son. I do want justice for myself, but the thought of a child losing their parent because of me is unsettling. I believe what he did was fully wrong, and I have no mercy for him, but his son. I talked to my current boyfriend about this, and usually he has answers for me, but he didn't know what I should do. What do you think? I've done a psychic reading about how he'd feel if I told him he me. He'd feel disgusted that I'd say that because he didn't physically hurt me, but the psychic did say he knows he somewhat took advantage of me, and she told me I should remind him of that if I do decide to tell him. Even though he didn't physically hurt me, he ruined me mentally. I continuously had sex with guys to feel some kind of validation, and I now suffer from PTSD, anxiety, and depression. I still wear my purity ring, but I plan on repenting and becoming celibate soon. Here's the thing about virginity or purity. When somebody does something to you that you did not consent to, it doesn't mean you are no longer a virgin. The reason is because your virginity is something that you choose to give to somebody. It's not sex. It's not. And it's tough to tell you what you should do, because if it were me in the situation, I don't even think I would be considering the fact that the person had a child or has a child. I think I would just be doing what I feel is right. And I feel like a lot of the times the people that commit those crimes, they don't even face proper justice. Like, they don't get put away for long times, and that's who should be in jail. They have non-violent drug dealers and stuff in jail when there's so many out here walking around willy-nilly, even though they're registered sex offenders. After you've been or anything like that, a lot of the times you do end up turning and being very promiscuous because you're just confused. And so I'm kind of stumped on this situation, because I can only tell you what I would do as a person. Like I said, I would not be considering the fact that he has a child. Lots of people have children that commit crimes. Does that mean that they don't deserve to serve time or do the time for the crime that they committed? No, because if it were a different type of crime, if he murdered somebody that you love, you wouldn't be considering the child. A crime is a crime to me. I feel like enough people don't get in trouble for this type of crime. So many women keep it quiet. I think it's important to speak up and to deal with that kind of stuff accordingly. None of the people that did anything to me are in jail. None of them. But now, because of YouTube, a lot of them have probably seen me talk about them. People know what they've done. And I think unless they are sociopaths, or unless they are just not well, it eats at them. And in my opinion, I feel like if he's done that to you, you are possibly not the only person he's done that to. Some guys just don't know how to respect the word no. And a lot of us are victims to that, and it's not right. And I think that you should speak up. Did he have a kid when he did it to you? If he did, well, he wasn't considering his child then, and it's too late to consider the child now. If he didn't have that child before, well, he should have thought about that before he took advantage of you. Point blank, period. It's really hard to advise somebody on something like this. I feel like you have to go with what's in your heart, and it's good that you're in therapy because most of us don't even bother. Hey, gorgeous new mama, ×2. Let's not waste time. I like you already. So basically, I've been dating a gorgeous black king who lives in Jamaica. Yeah, I got trapped. No, I'm playing LOL. But it's been almost 2 years, and I'm at the point where it's like, what now? I'm really trying to think realistically without attaching my emotions into it. I have a child with another man in which that relationship was effing terrible, okay? He's from Section 6 in the East End, girl. Damn ain't shit. What's that, Atlanta? Anyway, so basically there's no real issues between my Jamaican man and I. However, I need a non-biased opinion in terms of the pros and cons of long-distance relationships. Girl, we gonna talk about more than just long-distance relationships, honey, because I don't know what the fuck you are doing. P.S. I'm highly aware that there's a high-ass chance of him giving me bun, so basically I do my own thing, but I would still like to see where, if possible, this relationship could go. We have discussed him coming here in the future, in which I said I'll give it another year to make sure things are what it is and the relationship is as solid as possible before sponsoring him. Girl, last thing I want is to bring a over and then he leave me for some fat white thing. Seen it too many times. Alright, thanks in advance, boo. Oh, she said he's from Section. This girl's from Toronto? Girl, I'm done with you. You should know fucking better. First of all, you're using patois, so I know you're Jamaican. What did our mothers teach us? No Jamaican men. What are you doing? Did your mother not teach you that? Everybody mom that told them no island. What are you doing? What are you doing? Do you not watch 90 Day Fiancé? I don't do long distance relationships. I don't do it. This is just me personally. I'm not feeling it. I don't trust you that much, okay? Now, if we're together and it's not long distance and then you go away for a little bit and you come back, I can trust that. But I don't trust living in 2 different countries, bitch. What do you think this is? What do you think this is? Let me... Girl, you knew what I was going to say to you. So I don't know why you emailed me this. This is a no-go. Point blank, period. Why are you going to even try to sponsor this man? Why? Everybody knows it's a scam. I know of one successful relationship. It's not even technically successful because he's a cheater. But anybody that's done this will tell you to not do this. So I don't know why you're entertaining this Jamaican man. Everybody knows the flex. You get him over here and then he starts to give you a bun, just like you said. So don't be sponsoring nobody. Don't be putting your good name on the line for these people. No, he can find his own way here. Matter of fact, he can go find somebody else on Facebook to sweet talk so that they can bring him over. You're not that desperate. You can find a local man, preferably not from Section. You can find a local man, honey. You don't need to be in this. Well, you said you're doing your own thing anyway. Continue to do your own thing. Stay far away from the Jamaican man. I mean, if you go to Jamaica and you want some Jamaican Disney, that's one thing. But don't be trying to bring him over here, okay? Just, no. Go watch 90 Day Fiancé because Jay on 90 Day Fiancé, he's spilling all the tea. I don't know one Jamaican man that's not a damn liar or a cheater. And I'm so sorry to say it. My sister-in-law is mad. Hi, Bo. I love you. Salem is the cutest, chunkiest girl ever. Anyway, I recently fell pregnant. I am now 3 months along. I am 21 years old. My boyfriend is 22. His older brother has been dating this girl for the past 8 years. He is 24. And everyone in the family hates her. She goes against everything he believes in, and we think she's dragging him down. He won't break up with her due to the comfortability, we think. She has always been jealous of me because I'm a very outgoing, confident person and I have a similar personality to her boyfriend, my brother-in-law. So when I announced my pregnancy, you can imagine the nasty side comments and negativity she gave out, but then is fake to my face. See, we have a problem. She's just mad because she's 24 with no engagement ring, which she's been begging for now more than ever since I'm heading into the next step of my life. Here's where the story starts. My boyfriend has a full apartment attached to their house. It's really nice and modern and is completely separate from the main house. When we found out we were pregnant, it wasn't a question on if we were moving in, since we don't have enough saved to buy a house yet. Next thing we know, my sister-in-law is talking about the apartment and how they are moving in. My boyfriend's brother has no balls, so he let it happen, and now they're living in it. My boyfriend's parents didn't have much say in it since they didn't want to get involved. I hate when parents do that, but sometimes that has to be done. Even though they collect the rent for it, and said that they already, about a month prior, that they're planning to move into the apartment. But I think that was so shitty, since now we are going to most likely be stuck in my boyfriend's house with a baby. And their plans don't compare to the reality that we're about to face, when they have no reason to be living in that apartment. How should I handle this situation? Should I continue to put up with her fake personality for my brother-in-law's sake, completely cut her out of my life for the sake of my new life, or call her out the next time I hear her make an out-of-line comment about me and my unborn child? Girl, all the above, honey. See, this is what you're not gonna do. You're not gonna play with me and mine, okay? Like, I can't. Let me see. Your first question. Obviously, you can't evict them. You can't get rid of her. You know, you can't, like, physically remove them from the apartment. So that ship has sailed. We're gonna get over it. You do not have to put up with her fake personality if you do not choose to. People think that just because you're family, and y'all not even family because she's super extended family, but people think just because you're family you can't get cut off. Girl, I've blocked my mom for less. Like, stop this. Anybody that is not giving you good energy, good vibes, good auras needs to go. Okay? We don't keep those people around. Family, friends, your pastor, whoever the hell it is, they can get cut off real quick. I think you can bring up the situation to Mr. No Balls, and if he's not going to do anything about it, which he probably can't since he has no balls, I mean, there's not really much left to say. And if she does make a snide remark, girl, you better say something about it. That shit just can't slide. It just can't. Like, people love to say stuff to pregnant people thinking that they won't get a buck. But that's not necessarily always the case. If she's truly, genuinely jealous of you, well, then you know why she's making the remarks she's making. But you have every right to address her. My camera actually cut off and I went to eat, so I totally don't remember what the hell I was saying. But I do know it had something to do with cutting people off and addressing people when they decide they want to come for you. You are not obligated to be friends with her, even if she was the sister of your husband. There's no need to be her friend. If you guys don't get along, you guys don't get along, and that's just what it is. You can't force relationships. So this next email is called So Yeah. Hey girl, this is my second email to you for advice, but this one's a little different. Love life antics. So, I've been dating this man who we'll call RJ for the past few months. He's what I call a great guy. He's 32, I'm 29. He works, takes care of himself like he should, and is incredibly kind. Almost too kind. Now, here's where the issue is. He may possibly be a father. He found out his ex was pregnant like 5 months ago and she just gave birth on Halloween. I have no problem dating a man with a child, but I just foresee drama. Bo, the girl is effing evil. Like, he was at the hospital but couldn't see the baby be born because she wanted her friends and current boyfriend in the room. Evil. Well, he's filling the paperwork to have paternity tests done ASAP, and I told him, because I know how he is, he should probably wait for the results before meeting the baby. I watch a lot of paternity court, okay, and honestly, I feel like if you're not in a relationship with somebody and you do have, or you do end up in a pregnancy situation, I feel like you should get a paternity test. I feel like it should be mandatory, because that way there wouldn't be so many. What's on your eye? There's fluff on her eye. Oh gosh. She looks like
it's fake. Eyelashes.
That's cute. I feel like paternity tests should be mandatory, because a lot of the times the baby be looking like the potential father, and then all of a sudden it's a shock, he's not the daddy, and you're like, what? And so we've come to the conclusion that it's because women tend to have types. And so their ex, or whoever they was fooling around with, might look like the last guy they were fooling around with. And so when the baby's born with similar features to the potential father, who ends up not being the father, it's because the other guy that she was smashing looked just like the other guy she was smashing, like a doppelganger kind of thing, you know? Or doppelganger? Whatever. That way, his heartstrings aren't being tugged on and he's not hurt if the results are negative. You know, I agree with this to an extent. I mean, they were ex-boyfriend and girlfriend, so obviously they had unprotected sex. And I mean, if he does the whole timeline thing and it adds up, I don't think he shouldn't necessarily meet the baby. I think he should meet the baby, but he shouldn't really start building a relationship with the baby until the results are in. That way, he's not spending money on diapers for a child that's not his, and other things too. But obviously, it's devastating if you find out that the child that you started caring for is not yours. So you are right to an extent where he shouldn't really approach the situation until he knows for sure. And the baby's so young, getting this paternity out of the question early. The baby was literally born less than 30 days ago. So, just over a week ago, you know? And so, within a week, he should have his results. And it's like it never happened if the baby is his. It's not like he missed out on years of her life, you know? Because never listened. He met her anyways and is now in love and hoping the kid is his. My issue is we talk kids, marriage, etc. And I feel like if this is his, it's going to put me wanting a child on the back burner for a minute because I don't want to go pop out a kid after he just had one. I'm trying to be patient and see what these results say, but I don't know. I feel like I'm being selfish because it's like he possibly wasted a first kid on a failed relationship. Sounds bad, I know, but what are your thoughts? Am I being selfish? I don't think you're necessarily being selfish. And I feel like your age has a part to play in why you're feeling the way you are because like you said, you're 29. Women are on a clock. Point blank period. Not everybody can afford a motherfucking surrogate like Gabrielle Union and Kim Kardashian, okay? Not everybody can afford a damn surrogate. Not everybody can go do in vitro when they're too old to have children. And so I get why you are talking about children, but you said he's your boyfriend. He's not your fiance. He's not your husband. You guys are just dating. Essentially just dating. I don't know if you guys live together or what, but the issue with that is if this child is his and he did have a first child on a failed relationship, I mean, who says that you guys, if you were to get pregnant, that your relationship is even going to last and you guys are gonna be, you know, happily ever after. I was in the comments of my last Botox talking about this because when it came to the really emotional story, I had said, well, why is he talking about babies and not talking about engagements and marriage? And the reason I said that was because there's so many single parents out there, moms and dads alike, and there's so many broken homes. And honestly, I feel like it's just a never-ending cycle. And chances are, if you grew up in a broken home, that your children will too. Girl, I don't even know that's a statistic. I just made that shit up. But honestly, people that are committed to each other, like married people that are committed to each other and plan their children, their relationships end up lasting a lot longer than those that don't necessarily have that same luxury. Couples that are just dating. I do a lot of quotes. That's why I bring up the topic of marriage. And I understand things are not the same. I understand that, you know, it's not as traditional as it was before, but why not? Because obviously coming from me, it sounds hypocritical because I was pregnant before I got married, but I was in a relationship for a long time, and in Canada, we were considered married. We might not be considered married to everybody else, but to us, we were married. It just wasn't on paper. With my situation, it's a little different because we were common law, and the day basically that I got engaged was, or the day before I got engaged was the day that I found out I was pregnant. And so it wasn't like we had Salem 5 years ago and then got engaged and then now got married, you know? That's not really how it went. So everybody's situation is different. Some people do have all their kids first and then get married, and that's totally fine, but there's no guarantee in that. And there's no guarantee that when you have a child with your husband that your husband's gonna stay, but that's not a likely thing if that's something you guys both want, you know? He's not just gonna up and leave because you're pregnant all of a sudden. Like, it doesn't make sense. And so that's why I think it's really important to take the appropriate steps first, because nothing is guaranteed, nothing is solid. I think you should be careful with that, because once a man has one baby mama child, he's grounds to having a second and a third maybe, okay? And it's crazy. It needs to stop. Like, this is what our community has become. Too many baby mamas and baby daddies and not enough husbands and wives, and that's just the reality of it. You find out that that is his child. Are you going to want to continue building with him? Because a lot of people that don't have children would prefer to have kids with somebody that doesn't already have children. Do you feel like it's going to put a strain on your relationship because that little girl is, if it is his, she's going to become the light of his life, and he might put you on the back burner because you're no longer his leading lady? I think those are just things to consider. I'm not saying to drop him. I'm just saying, like, because you said you are considering to put having a baby on the back burner if the child is his, because you don't want to be Tara and Peter and Amina. That's why I'm throwing all these scenarios at you, just so that you have something to think about. Yes, you are 29, but you're still in the window here, so you got lots to think about. Also, if you do decide that you're gonna stay with this person, you have to now consider that if this is the person that you want to have children with and you want to spend the rest of your life with, you have to consider that that little girl is now your little girl as well. You are going to be her stepmother, or at least a part of her life, you know? If you guys end up staying together, you can't be too selfish. And you're gonna have to embrace her one way or the other, and you might grow to love that child as well. Well, you ain't gonna have a choice if it's his child and you decide to stay. So those are all things you have to consider. But if you are feeling this way now and then it ends up being his, are you gonna resent him, and are you gonna resent that child? If you are, I feel like you should not be in that relationship. I feel like you cannot resent that innocent baby. It's natural because it was unexpected. It's not something that you guys planned, obviously. Who the frig planned something like this? But it's life, it happens, and all you can do is wait to see what the results are. There's no point in worrying about it and then the child ends up not being his, and then you guys are in the clear. But if you feel in your heart that that's his child, then you have to start thinking about what your next move is. Oh, what a cute muffin! Oh, I want to squeeze. Oh, I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. I think it's a boy. He's so cute. Okay, let me see. This one's called, hey Bo. Oh, this one's called stay-at-home mom or get a full-time job. Hey Bo, you and your family are so sweet and so beautiful, and I love your videos. You were some months ahead of me while I was pregnant, but I always look forward to your pregnancy/baby updates so I can get the tea in what the hell is about to happen. Anyway, I'm from the States, 26 years old, married, and have a beautiful 4-month-old baby boy. Oh, I was right. He's so freaking cute. You guys, I just want to squeeze him. Thankfully, my husband is in the military, so getting that military coin allows me to be a stay-at-home mom. I love being able to stay with our son all day. I do work at home as an online English teacher for some extra income. Since I had my son, my husband has been trying to get me to get a real job. One, I don't trust daycares. Amen, honey. Me either, honey. And I was talking about this on Instagram the other day, and everybody's like, you know what? Not everybody has that same luxury. Well, guess what? Everybody needs to find that same luxury, because I am not going to send my child to a stranger's daycare, stranger danger, for my child to get hurt, for my child to get killed. Like, no. get sick, I don't care what it is. I refuse to pay for daycare to have my child end up on the damn news. It's just not a thing, okay? Anyway, let me continue reading. 2, I'm not sure about Canada, but the cost of daycare in the US is ridiculous. Oh no, baby. Unless you are on subsidy, unless you are a welfare check receiver, then daycare is expensive, okay? Daycare is not cheap. It's really not. And so that is not an expense. Listen, I already know my daughter's gonna need braces. I don't have time to be paying thousands of dollars to daycare, okay? No. Almost to the extent that there's no point in getting a job because with the cost of daycare included, I'd be making almost little to no profit. Well, there you go. He says one of his family members can watch our son, but the only people I know I can trust our son with are my mom and his sister-in-law, and they're too busy to watch him all day. I feel uncomfortable and don't trust his family because I don't really know the ones he's talking about. I thought my little side job would be enough since I make about $750 US, only working 2 hours a day and 5 days a week, and still have plenty of time to spend and take care of my son. I'm also taking online classes to finish my computer science degree, which I already struggle with since I have to give my attention to my son and my studies at the same time. I understand that my husband wants me to work so we can save up more money, but I don't want to take that time away from my son. My husband works all day and comes home really tired. Oh, so do you guys live on like a military, what's that thing called? I don't know nothing about damn militaries. We don't have that. Well, we have military, but like I don't know anything about the damn military. It's not a reserve. It's a freaking base. Do you live on like a base? My husband works all day and comes home really tired and wants to relax, so he doesn't really get to spend quality time with our son unless it's the weekend. I don't want that for me. I want to be able to give my son my full attention whenever he needs and wants it. Sorry, I'm starting to ramble. Do you think I should just stop worrying, get a job, and let one of his family members watch our son? And are you planning on putting Salem in daycare? I know you don't need to, but the only pro I see in daycare is socializing with other kids, so I just wanted your opinion. It's so hard for me to leave this cute ass face, LOL. Love ya. Thanks for your time. Girl, your baby is so cute. I wouldn't want to leave him either. He's so cute. Listen, I truly feel like one parent needs to stay home. With my situation, I still work from home while being on mat leave and being pregnant. I'm still working and I wouldn't have it any other way because even though I am a stay-at-home mom and full-time and hands-on, I still have somebody here, my mom, being extremely hands-on with Salem so I can get the work that I need to get done. And so I see where you would be struggling with that because it's just you and the baby, where I have my mom and the baby and me. And so even though I'm right there, if I need to work, my mom is really hands-on with her and she'll distract Salem and keep Salem busy while I'm trying to get work done. Sometimes men don't really get it. Men don't understand how hard it is that their woman is actually working. The fact that you're even able to get online and do what you need to do to bring in some sort of income should be enough for your husband. So sorry about it, but it really should be because you just had a child. Your child's not even a year yet. Your husband shouldn't even be on you to get back to work, you know? Most mothers don't go back to work until after a year. I think that when it comes to leaving your child with family, you can only leave your child with family that you trust. If you don't know his family that well, if you don't know that you can trust them, you cannot leave your child with those people. And it would suck for you to tell him that, but at the end of the day, a man's never going to get how a mother feels about that. It's not even worth talking about because he's not going to understand why you can't just leave your child with somebody else. It's just like sending your child to daycare. Those people are strangers to you. It's not people you grew up with. When it's your mom, it's different because you know your mom. You know your mom's never gonna hurt your child. My mom is literally the only person I would ever think to leave my child with. When it comes to extended family, you don't know who the hell they got up in their house. You can't just be leaving your kid anywhere, and people don't get that. And I say a family member that you trust with your life, then you can leave your child with them. Like, I trust my mom with my life. I trust nobody else. I don't trust nobody else, child. I don't know who else there's nobody else. If I didn't have my mom, it would just be me, because I'm not going to risk my child getting abused in any type of way because I neglected or I needed to make money, so I decided that I was gonna go fully back to work, and I let my child stay at a family or relative's house, and then my child ends up freaking needing to go to therapy for the rest of her life. Absolutely the fuck not. Or worse off, dead. Like, no, it's not happening. As you know, I'm not putting her in daycare. The socializing with other children is great, but I just read a story 2 days ago, or was it yesterday, about a 10-year-old stomping on the head of a 6-week-old or a 6-month-old. Huh? A 6-month? What? And the child died. I am not risking that, because why was that child left alone? A lot of just like Jackie Christie's grandchild got burned at daycare because the bottle warmer spilled on the child. How? Daycare is a no-go. Especially at this early on in life. Maybe when their child is a little bit older, but even then it's still scary for me to even think about, and I probably wouldn't send her when she's older. If you want to interact with other children, I don't know about America, but in Canada, at the library, and there's other like baby places that you can go, mommy and baby places that you can go, usually for free or a really low price. And there's like book reading at the library for the babies, and that's where your child can interact with other kids. You don't have to pay a fucking dime. So I think that's way better. And you stay, obviously, you don't just drop them off and go. You stay with the baby. And so that's better than bringing your kid to daycare. They still get to socialize, but they also still get to stay safe because they're in your care. The other thing is, too, if you're not paying a family member to watch your child, they ain't no telling what they're gonna do to your child. And even if you are paying them, there's still no telling what they're gonna do to your child. I think that if you are going to use a family member, you do need to pay them, because it just is not right to not pay them. Like, taking care of a child is a lot of work. Somebody has to be compensated. You can't drop your kid off at daycare for free, so why should you be able to drop them off at your mom's house for free? It doesn't make any sense. So you might not be paying as much as daycare, but maybe half of daycare. I think that's fair. Yeah, in my personal opinion, I feel like you should continue to stay at home, work when you can, continue to do your schoolwork, and take care of your child, because nobody's going to be able to raise your child like you. Nobody's going to be able to keep your child as safe as you can. And so I think your husband got to take a chill pill, because it's just not the time for you to go back to work. Especially if you guys aren't struggling financially. Like, there's just other options. And if you guys are not struggling financially, there's no need for him to be pressuring you to go back to work. I could live off Shooter's income, but I like to have my own money, number one. And number two, I enjoy doing what I do. So I couldn't picture myself just like sitting at home all day and not working, because you would go crazy. I think you should talk to your husband and tell him it's just not the time for you to go back to work, and hopefully he can respect it. There's nothing else you could really say.